welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Elena, I really like books, and thanks so much for being here. In today's vlog, I will be taking you through a variety of bookish events in the city of Philadelphia. I've lived here on and off now for about 6 years, and I really have come to appreciate how much rich opportunity there is for literary pursuit. It's home to a bunch of writers, creative spaces, bookstores, new and used, niche ones, generalist ones, tons of book clubs, citywide, neighborhood specific, workplace specific. It's just a phenomenal place to be if you are a book lover. So I wanted to do a dedicated vlog highlighting some of my favorite bookish activities in the city, and of course do a reading vlog. The books in this reading vlog, however, are going to be either written by authors who are from or living in Philadelphia, are about events that took place in Philadelphia, or are novels that have Philadelphia as the setting. If you enjoy bookish content that involves reading but also leaving the house, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. And with that, we will roll into our first bookish activity of the vlog, the 3rd annual Philly Bookstore Crawl. I bought several books during the Philly Bookstore Crawl, and I did a haul of that over on Shorts, so you can go check that out. But one of the other things that I've really got to enjoy in the city are the various book club offerings that I've been able to take advantage of. So I'll definitely bring you guys along for at least part of that. I don't think I'll be filming every single book club I'm a part of, but I do think there are at least 3 in-person book club meetings happening this month for me. Okay, hello. This is me from the future watching back this clip and realizing I didn't explain what had happened here. I had just gotten back from a book club meeting. We were talking about The Magnificent Ruins by Nayantara Roy, which by the way was a solid 3-star read. We all enjoyed it. There was a lot to chew on, but nothing earth-shattering. It's a little story about a woman who travels back to Calcutta, where she has inherited her family home after her grandfather passes away and has to navigate her identity as an Indian American, and a love triangle that follows her there and spans these continents. But anyway, I went to this book club meeting, and while I was down in South Philly, I stopped at the bookstore, but I fear that context did not come through, so this is me giving it to you now to explain why I ended up at the bookstore and then what book I finished before diving into our next read. On my way home from book club, I actually ended up passing one of the very, very large used bookstores here in the city, so I decided to stop in. I went to Mostly Books in South Philly, and this place is massive. It has 2 floors of books. The store takes up quite a significant amount of space on the block that it sits on. And in addition to books, they also have DVDs, records, cassettes. You could also buy used photos just for decoration if you like a vintage look. But it was really fun getting to just kind of go in and browse. I found 2 titles that I'm super excited about. One is a historical fiction about Trinidad in the 1940s. We have Hungry Ghosts by Kevin Jared Hossein. If you've been watching my recent book hauls, you know I'm really in my historical fiction era, so I was excited to find a Caribbean-based story. The second book I found was actually a book that I almost placed an ARC request for, or maybe I did end up placing an ARC request for it on NetGalley and I didn't get it. But it is a college romance. It's your classic like bookworm meets jock. They fall in love through the premise of he needs help studying and she's the one to help him. Very much Naily coded from One Tree Hill. Night Shift by Anne Crown. Once I was done with my book club read of The Magnificent Ruins, I jumped into Discipline by Marc Avery. Shout out to Marc for sending me this book because I was having so much FOMO seeing everybody read about it, post about it. I actually saw his table during the Philly Bookstore Crawl. He was parked outside of, oh my gosh, what was it? He was parked outside of A Novel Idea on the day day of the Philly bookstore crawl, but the table was literally swamped, so we just kind of waved at each other and kept it pushing. But now that I have my hands on this, I started it yesterday and I am about 7 chapters in. Discipline is a Philly-based thriller, and Marc's description is that it's a Criminal Minds inspired story. So our protagonists are a playboy detective, a straight and narrow detective, and our serial killer, Discipline. What I've learned thus far is that Discipline obviously has a very troubled past. His childhood was really hard. As an adult, he was wrongly accused and put in jail for a second time. And so now he is running rampant in the streets of Philadelphia seeking vengeance on those who wronged him. Our 2 detective main characters are about to be partnered up and neither of them are excited about it. They know of each other through their former partners or from other kind of workplace gossip that they've heard. And so it definitely has the potential to become very volatile. So I'm excited to dive back into this morning, and I will give you guys a reading update when I have one for you. It is nice to see you again. It has been a few days since our last check-in, so I wanted to give you a reading update and an event update. We'll start with Discipline by Marc Avery. I am about 40% of the way through this book now, so we've gotten our background on Discipline, our main character who is the serial killer, and our 2 detectives who have newly been partnered together. And Discipline has taken his first victim, so now our pair of detectives are working their first case together, and it's off to a terrible start. They already hate each other, they're not working together well, they've gotten into a physical altercation all before they even step foot onto the crime scene, so it is a hot mess. But I am really enjoying it. This book is very much giving me S.A. Cosby vibes in the sense of none of the chapters give you a second to breathe. It is just straight pressure, foot to the neck, pedal to the metal the entire time. But that's kind of what you want in a thriller. You want something to thrill you. So it's doing a good job so far. I'm really liking it. Then as for an event update, I didn't originally plan on going to this because I didn't know it was happening until today. But I saw on Instagram this morning that one of my favorite bookstores in the city is hosting an event tonight with the author of this new publication that just came out about Lin Manuel Miranda. It's a collection of interviews with Lin Manuel himself, with his friends, his families, his mentors and colleagues that details his journey from a musical kid growing up in Manhattan to the music legend that he is now. What is super fun about this event is that the author is being interviewed by a Philadelphia historian. I think that's just such a fun additional Philly layer to have on this event, which was likely always going to be a lot of fun because it's bookish, it's theater-ish, but because this is such a historic city and obviously Hamilton documents the start of US democracy, so this timing could not be more serendipitous for the theme of this vlog. I imagine that Hamilton will be a big part of the conversation just because of where we are and because it is arguably one of Lin Manuel's biggest pieces of his legacy. But comment down below what your favorite Lin Manuel Miranda work is if you're a fan. Is it Hamilton? Is it Moana? Is it the Little Mermaid reboot? Which one of his songs really gets you going? I am feeling a little sleepy after my workday, so I'm gonna have some tea, sit on the couch for a little bit, and then we will walk over to the event. They hate each other. guys, I'm back. It is Saturday now, but I wanted to give you a recap of the event that I went to at Head House Books the other night. It was in honor of a book that came out on September 9th, Lin Manuel Miranda, The Education of an Artist by Daniel Pollock Pelsner. The discussion was led by a Penn history professor, Sarah Groningsater. It was honestly a delightful, spectacular evening, which is kind of what I expected, but it far surpassed my expectations. Sarah asked such thoughtful questions. Daniel had all of these very engaging, detailed, charismatic responses. I was just charmed throughout the entire thing. It was one of those moments where you're in a room full of people who are exceptionally smart, very, very passionate, have the same niche interests as you, and you just have one of those moments where you're like, wow, there are so many of us. Isn't that amazing? I took some notes throughout the discussion because I was just blown away by all the nuggets of wisdom and inspiration. There are a lot of big lessons around being a forever student, not being afraid to make some messy mistakes when you're first starting out, the impact of women in Lin-Manuel's work and how women have inspired him to write differently and create differently. We talked about the ways in which we can reckon with the progression of Hamilton and Lin-Manuel's career from 2015 to now. When Hamilton first came out, it was basically kind of, as it was described, in lockstep with the culture, right? We consumed Hamilton, we were thrilled by Hamilton. I say we as people who agree with each other on that. I realize not everybody loved Hamilton. But now that we're in just a different time, I think the way that it's received now is very different than the way it was received even maybe 7 years ago. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just an interesting point to think about. I definitely think people now more than ever are questioning why we would have an entire musical dedicated to glorifying slave owners. So we talked about that a little bit while also trying to reconcile that Lin-Manuel's larger purpose here is to give creative opportunities to actors and musicians and performers of color who don't always get those opportunities, and how that's especially interesting to think about when we think about his transition to Disney and Disney's mission versus his mission, how Encanto was really groundbreaking because you know what Disney likes to do to parents, and in Encanto we really have a full extended family living in one house. And it was just great. I could go on and on forever, but I simply won't do that. But I wanted to check in with you guys because we are gonna have another bookish day today. I met an extremely fabulous group of bookish women a couple months ago, no, maybe a couple weeks ago. I went to a candle making class at Cupid's Bookshop, which is the first like freestanding romance only bookstore in Philly. And so we are all getting together today for a no spend brunch where we all just kind of bring something, we hang out at one of the girls' homes, we bring our Kindles and our books, and we're just gonna chat and read and snack and have a wonderful Saturday afternoon. It is the last official Saturday of summer. My Kindle is charging up now. I'm also of course going to bring Discipline. My plan is to read this, but who knows? We'll see what mood strikes me when I get there. I have a feeling we might do a lot of yapping instead of reading, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna make some cookies to bring, change out of my PJs, and head over. I'm not sure how much of this I'm gonna film, but I will catch you guys later today. Hello, we are back from my afternoon brunch with the Bookish Babes. We had such a splendid time together, just eating and chatting and reading. It was the best way to spend a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Because this brunch was hosted by our hostess with the mostest, I came home with a bunch of goodies that I will show you. We all got some flowers and some cake to take home. Our hostess kindly let us sort through her pile of ARC, so I took away Moonsick. This comes out on Tuesday, September 23rd. It's a YA thriller. It's one of those like, oh, this is our last hurrah before everyone goes off to college. I have a bright future ahead of me. I'm gonna throw a party. However, there is a sickness going around that turns people into werewolves. So obviously this kind of ruins the party. So I'm excited to dive into this for spooky season and so grateful that I got to pick this out. We also got to take home these cute little goodie bags that have a little sketch notebook, also have a delicious M&M candy cookie, some Pockies, oh, and the best gift of all, chapstick. This one is Vaseline's Rosy Lips. Could not be happier. My heart is full. So it is Saturday evening. I am going to change out of these clothes, put on some comfies, and I will get back to work on Discipline by Marc Avery. As expected, I read maybe 2 or 3 chapters while we were all sitting together. We did have some silent reading time, but we ended up chatting, as one does. So I'm gonna change, settle in on the couch, and I will check in with you guys later. Good morning, folks. Happy Sunday, or whatever day you're watching this on. We have another day of bookish activities ahead. I had a slow morning with the dog, and now I'm getting ready to meet one of my friends from grad school who is in town this weekend. We're gonna go to a coffee shop. We're gonna go to a used bookstore. It's actually a bookstore I haven't been to yet. It's in West Philly, like in the University City area. So I'm excited to check that out with her and just catch up. And then after that, I'll probably just be home for the afternoon. The dog does have a grooming appointment that I have to take him to. So while he's at his grooming appointment, I'll probably just clean up the apartment, do some grocery shopping, get ready for the work week, because then in the evening I have a different friend from grad school who's in town from a different city. So we are gonna get dinner together, and she actually is a bookseller now, which is super fun, and I love that for her. So I'm excited to have just another bookish day with my friends who I haven't seen in a while and who I don't get to see all the time. So it really is just gonna be a fantastic Sunday. So I'm going to finish getting ready, and then I will be bringing you guys to West Philly. See you there. Hello you all. We are back from part one of our very bookish Sunday. I have had such an amazing morning. I tried out a new coffee shop. I went to a new, to me, used bookstore. We found a lot of books, so I'm gonna show you what we found today. Our first stop was at The Last Word, which is in University City, and I found 4 books. I'm just gonna rapid fire them. Dream Count, Liquid. This is a pretty new release, so I was excited to find this. I think it came out in the summer or spring. Dating Dr. Dill, which one of the girls at brunch yesterday was just telling me about this, so I was very excited. It was the first book I found when we walked in. And I'm excited to give this author and this series a try because it really does sound right up my alley. Once Upon a Broken Heart. After we did coffee, pastries, bookstore 1, we then had some more time to kill before my friend's flight, so we came across town to another bookstore. My tried and true, the Book Trader, had a copy of Sky Falling, and I was especially excited to find this book because when I had posted about my favorite Philly-based books or Philly-authored books, one of you had suggested Sky Falling because it does in fact take place in Philly. You can see the skyline here. So it felt very serendipitous to find this today. Part 1 of the day is over, so I have a couple hours to myself. I think I'm gonna just kind of chillax for a little bit, watch the game, clean up the apartment, get ready for Monday, because we do have dinner plans later today. Will any reading get done today? I don't know, honestly. I have been having such a fun week hanging out with friends and such a busy weekend that unfortunately I haven't gotten a lot of reading done, which is not really like me. Normally I finish a book in like 3 to 4 days, but I've been working on discipline for quite a bit. So I would love to tell you that I would get some work done on it this afternoon, but I simply don't know if that's true. So we may be carrying it into next week, and that's fine. So I'm gonna start off the afternoon portion of my day, and I will see you guys when I have another update for you. give some bookish event updates. Last night I went to my neighborhood book club. Instead of everybody reading the same book, what we decided was that everyone was going to read a book of their choosing by Jane Austen. It was a very fun and timely choice because we're coming up on, I think, the 250th or 200th anniversary of her birth. There's like a big celebration going on in London now about it, but we all got to kind of chat about what Jane Austen book we selected. Most people chose Pride and Prejudice, a classic. One person chose the very first book that Jane Austen ever published and said it was pretty good. It didn't really make sense for me to film there. We were having just a lively discussion. I wasn't about to stick a camera in everyone's faces or set it up on the table with all of the food, so I apologize about that. But I do have a very fun event this evening that I plan to bring you guys along for. Kamala Harris released her book 107 Days this Tuesday, and she is coming to Philly for what I believe is the second stop on her book tour. So me and one of my friends from the book club that I mentioned that I was in last night are going to this event. I still have a sizable amount to go in Discipline by Marc Avery. I just haven't had a lot of time to read this week. It's been pretty busy, but for now, let me take you along the journey of getting ready to meet Miss Harris. What a fun week. Hello guys, I'm testing out a pumpkin maple iced cortado recipe. I just filmed the process of making it, but I haven't tried it yet. I thought we could do that together, so cheers. With whatever beverage you're drinking, happy whatever day you're having. Oh my God, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, I was a little nervous because I definitely wanted to use a little splash of the pumpkin creamer, but I was nervous that between the maple butter and the maple cold foam, the whole thing would taste like a sugar bomb. But if you can see the color of the coffee, it's still quite dark, and it is just the perfect amount of sweetness from the foam that the coffee still tastes like coffee, but you get that maple pumpkin flavor. Oh my God. I'm a genius, a coffee genius. Okay, it's a little after 4 o'clock now. I'm done with work for the day, and I'm having a late afternoon coffee because we're getting ready for our second bookish event of this vlog. The event is later tonight, so I definitely wanted to make sure that the workday doesn't catch up with me right before, hence the coffee. And I was a little nervous about what to wear to this event because I do think that most attendants are probably gonna go for like a DC chic pantsuit vibe. However, it's 80 degrees and humid here at the end of September in Philadelphia, so I'm a little torn on what we're gonna wear. I do have a couple pieces in my closet that I think I could work with, but just for security purposes, I also went shopping. So I wanted to show you guys the few pieces that I got because I went to Nordstrom Rack, which obviously is pretty hit or miss, but I found some hits. Part of my personal brand is owning fun blazers. I have a lilac blazer, I have a pink blazer with a little cinching at the waist, I've got a leopard blazer, I have a sky blue blazer that I famously wear on most of my job interviews, but for some reason all of them are on Long Island, and I don't know if that's because the last time I was in an interview cycle I was still living in New York, but none of them are here. So I went looking for some blazers, knowing full well that even though that would fit the vibe, there's no way I can actually wear a blazer throughout the entirety of this event. Nevertheless, I picked some out. We got to this very cute sky blue one that obviously needs a steam, but she's from Halogen. She has a very oversized fit and I think would look great not only tonight but just kind of throughout the fall and winter season. It's nice and big so I can wear it over like a knit top. It doesn't have to be like a silky tank underneath, which I really appreciate the versatility of that. This second one I'm really excited about. It's so fall, it's so comfy, it has such a nice fit, and it's from a brand that I love, but there's no way I'm gonna wear it today because I would just be sweating the entire time. But I got this camel colored faux suede blazer from Tahari that I think will just be so cute throughout the fall season with like a cream tank. I even have this very, very thin cream turtleneck from Express that I think could make for such a nice layered look with this blazer. So I'm super excited to have this in my collection as well, even if I don't end up wearing it tonight. Then I got a top that I thought would be cute just to have because it's so my style. I can wear it to work, I can wear it to casual events around Philly, but look at this cute little cream sweater with black flower detailing. It's not a brand I've ever heard of before. The brand is Adriana Papel. Shout out to her. I really love this. She had a bunch of other cute pieces as well, but I was trying to restrain myself from buying everything that I like. However, I did get one more article of clothing that is also from the same brand, Adriana Papel. It's just a crop t-shirt, but it's like an elevated one. So this is what it looks like. It has what I can only describe as horizontal ribbing. Will this focus? So it's ribbed, but horizontally rather than vertically, and the back has these buttons down the whole back, and I just think this is so cute. I might wear this today with like a pair of dress pants and maybe like a light sweater on top. I don't know, but this is definitely the most weather appropriate thing that I purchased today because it is hot. The last two things that I got at Nordstrom Rack are actually additional pairs of blue light glasses. I love wearing them because I do end up staring at screens way too much throughout the day. It's a problem. But I also just feel like they're such a cute way to elevate a basic look. So the ones that I typically wear are from Key, and so when I saw that Nordstrom Rack also had Key blue light glasses, I tried a few pairs on, and truthfully I ended up landing on the same frames that I was just wearing, but in this like clear pink color. I feel like they look actually horrendous in this lighting, but when I tried them on the store I really liked it, and I'm not like a clear frames girl. I'm actually famous for hating clear frames. We'll see how much I end up wearing them, but I really liked them when I saw them in the store, so I got them. And then I found a different pair that I thought would be really cute actually, perhaps for the event tonight, depending on what I end up wearing. I love the color brown, but I don't actually own brown framed glasses. I have a lot of tortoiseshell, I've had black, and now I have these clear pinks, but I also found these brown ones from Diff Eyewear. They're the Paxton XLs, and I just think the shape is really different from anything that I own, and they're quite large, but I feel like it works with like my head shape, and I just think that depending on what I end up wearing tonight, I might end up being able to utilize these. So what I'm gonna do now is slurp down this coffee so I have some energy. I'm gonna start getting ready, and while I'm getting ready, I think I'm gonna start listening to the audiobook for 107 Days. We do get a copy of the book as part of the pricing for the event, so I will be walking out of there with a hardcover tonight, but I know she narrates the audiobook herself, so it could be fun to listen before. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Like I've mentioned 7,000 times, it is gonna be really hot today. So I think what I'm gonna do is put my hair up in a ponytail and then curl it. So right now I'm just gonna straighten, re-straighten the roots, and then just lazy girl curl it while it's up in the ponytail. All right, you guys, we are dressed and ready to go. My curls have already fallen out. Hair down and looking good was never gonna happen, so I feel validated in my choice to just pony up tonight. They have a clear bag policy for this event, obviously, and I actually have gone my entire life without needing a clear bag. So we're gonna pack everything in my blazer pocket. So I'm gonna bring a teeny tiny wallet, my phone, and some Fenty for touch-ups, and that's it. Let's hit the road.
Vice President Kamala Harris.
I am now officially the Democratic nominee.
Okay, hello, it is me again. It's been a bit since we did a check-in, so I wanted to give you a debrief from the last event and set you up for the next ones. This has been a very packed month of book events. So I think the last thing I showed you was the 107 Days event with Kamala. And so now we are heading into the weekend where we've got more bookish things to look forward to. First up, I am about to head over to a happy hour with some coworkers who are also book girlies, and we have like a loose book club going amongst us where we have agreed on books to read, but not a set timeline. So every time we see each other, we can check in on them, which has been such a nice way to have the experience of a book club without the pressure that can sometimes come with a book club. So we're gonna do some drinks, some apps, talk about books, and just talk about life in general. Then tomorrow I'm going to an event that's hosted by Amber Burns. If you don't watch her, you definitely should. But we're gonna be doing a workout class, some coffee, some book swapping. I'm super excited. I will bring you guys along as much as I can for everything, but for now we are about to head over to happy hour and just have ourselves a good bookish weekend. Okay, hello, it's the next day. I apologize that every single one of the clips where I'm talking to you has been in this general vicinity in the living room. This has just been the place that it's been most convenient for the camera to live, because I'll tell you about an event, I'll go to an event, and I'll come back and the camera is here. We are getting ready to go to our by Amber Burns event, so I'm dressed for the gym, I have my water, I'm gonna take a walk over there. It's about 2 miles from me, so that'll be a nice little warm up. And then the last time that I went to a book swap in Philly, I actually forgot a book to swap, even though I had planned for weeks what I was gonna bring. So to balance out the karma, I'm gonna bring extra books to this one in case somebody else forgets. So I brought a book that I love, The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, which I happen to have an extra copy of. Then I brought a popular book that I DNF'd in case somebody else is interested in it, Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. I do want to give this book another chance one day, but I think I'll just do it on my Kindle when I'm ready. Lastly, I brought my extra copy of a book that's on my TBR that lots of people in my circle have read and loved, Dream Count by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. These are the 3 books I'm gonna bring. I'm gonna repack them in my bag, put on my sweater for this walk, and while I'm walking over there, I'm gonna start listening to Family Spirit, which is another Philadelphia-based story. Family Spirit is about a family of clairvoyants living in Philadelphia, but the daughter, who's the protagonist in the story, is trying to hide that she has this knowing gift. So while she's kind of navigating having the gift, but lying about having the gift, there's also a bunch of complicated family dynamics that bring a bunch of the siblings back to the family home in Philly. It sounds like a very character-driven story with a little bit of magic set in this city, so I think it'll be a fun read for this morning walk, especially since now we're in the month of October. Spooky season has officially started, so I think a book about some Philly witches is the perfect way to go. I'm gonna do this walk and I will catch up with you guys later today. Book swap and our thrifting. I just wanted to touch base. I had such a wonderful time. Everyone was so friendly and so sweet. We got an excellent workout in at the gym. It's quite literally called the gym. It was upper body, so it was a lot of like arms, chest, back work, which is perfect because I feel that's the area of my body I neglect working out the most, but probably should be working out more specifically more often. The coffee shop that we went to, honestly, is worth the walk. I would make the walk up there again just to have that latte. It was delicious. And let me show you the books that I got. I was very excited that someone brought a Twisted Tale book because someone recommended this series to me in my TikTok comments. So now I am the proud owner of A Whole New World, which is the Twisted Tale version of Aladdin. I will definitely be reading this winter. Then because I was in the Fairmount area, I decided to stop at Bookhaven, which is one of my most favorite places to buy used books in the city. We have this pristine copy of The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and I was really excited to find a title that's been on my TBR for a minute, but I've been really wanting to read since I did that happy hour with the Philly Book and Sip Club at the W, because one of the members was reading this book and very much enjoying it, The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. So it has been a very busy few weeks. I made no plans this evening very specifically, so I'm excited to have just a cozy night in. I'm drinking some more coffee to re-energize myself, but I do plan on doing some reading this evening. I think I'm gonna dive back into Discipline by Marc Avery. I would love to finish that book this weekend, but I also should give you an update on Family Spirit. I'm only about maybe 2.5 chapters in between my commute to the event and back today, so I'm still kind of getting the backstory, but so far I'm intrigued. I definitely want to keep reading. I'll probably continue to listen to and read that during my work week. But for now, let's re-energize, let's sit on the couch and get back into Discipline by Marc Avery. We're also soft launching fall here. I have my Halloween sugar cookie cup and I love this little ghost straw. It's not gonna focus on him, but he's there and I love him. Salted maple butter lattes are just too good. We are about to go to our final author event of this vlog for Issa Rae's new ebook/audiobook, I Should Be Smarter by Now. And I'm so excited. I'm going with one of my besties from book club. I just wolfed down some dinner after work, got ready, and now I'm about to head out the door. But I'm very excited to bring you guys along. Hello. It feels like it's been a while since I gave an actual reading update in this vlog because we've been doing so many bookish events and get-togethers. But last night I did finally finish Discipline by Marc Avery and I'm giving it a solid 3 stars. It's a very fast-paced thriller. It's actually more of a revenge story. It's one of those ones where it's not a mystery who's committed these crimes. It's just a matter of how will the detectives find this culprit? Will they find this culprit? What will they go through in the process? That sort of vibe. I would definitely say that most of the characters in this book went through some pretty heavy stuff, so advise some trigger warnings for basically every type of abuse you can imagine. But it was an enjoyable read. It was really fun actually seeing all of the different landmarks in Philly that are mentioned in the book because I frequent most of these places throughout the week. It just added a fun layer to the reading experience. I am now going to shift my focus back to Family Spirit. I'm about halfway through it now. I'm liking it. I'm not sure I'm loving it, but I'm definitely liking it. So I'm going to listen to that while I get some things done around the apartment today. I'm having a big life admin weekend. I'm doing all my meal prep, all my laundry, all my cleaning, so it'll be nice to have an audiobook to listen to while I do all of that. And because this vlog is already getting pretty long, I don't think I'm gonna read a third book, but I definitely will film a part 2 of this Bookish in Philadelphia series because there is so much more to share. But with that, let's get started on our cozy, productive Sunday. just about at the end of this Sunday and the end of this vlog. I prepped some food, I did some laundry, I cleaned the apartment, the Eagles won. So now all that's left is our final book review. While I was cooking, I finished Family Spirit. I am also giving this book 3 stars. There are a couple things I really liked about this book. It's a character-driven story, which I always appreciate. It's a very female-forward story, so it highlights this concept that women in the family are really the ones who kind of orchestrate the family relationship. They carry in families, honestly. And it looks at the complexity and conflict that comes up across generations and across, you know, mom's side, dad's side, and trying to navigate that. There are some relationship struggles that the 3 primary female main characters are all going through. And overall, the narrative style is just very engaging. Even though I own a physical copy of this book, I did primarily listen to it on audio, and not only was the narration amazing, just the style and the way that the narrator speaks was really, really captivating. But because it is a character-driven story, there's not like a ton that happened, which I realize is the point, but for that reason, it didn't overly wow me, and I also wasn't bored at the same time, if that makes sense. I will say this is also such a rich, like, Philly family story. It highlights the way that the neighborhoods in West Philly have changed a lot over the last 20 years and how they will likely continue to change all across the city. So it's just another fun, immersive read for this vlog. And so I do think I'm gonna close out the vlog here. We went to a ton of events. We read 2 Philly stories. I've got this great big stack of other Philly-based or Philly-authored stories, so if you made it to the end, comment down below which of these I should read for my next Always Bookish in Philadelphia vlog, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!